And here we are, scheduled for an 8-rounder. Kevin Reavell with the advantage maybe in experience, maybe slight advantage in speed as well. And what he seems to have found in his last couple of fights is the right kind of blend between push and pull, attack and defense, the distance and the timing. He just started to refine that a little, Reavell. And in truth, last few outings, he's looked better and better.
He has. He was good against Grant Dennis. And as he said at the end, he needed that win because the fight against Ryszard Levitsky was shaping up well, and then a cut ended it. That was off the back of a pretty good performance, I thought, against P.A. Gordon. P.A. Gordon won that fight, but it was a good fight at area title level. So there's ability there. He is happy to get in there and take proper fights, but that's not because he's some back-to-the-wall brawler. He's a decent boxer.
Lovely left hook to the body that was from Reavell. He's got through with a couple of wicked shots early on, and it's the timing, shot off, make your opponent miss, then come back with counters. That's the impressive part of his game that he started to refine. Salamutu was hurt early on against Collison. He did well to regroup and find his way into the fight after that. Razor sharp through the first couple of minutes, Reavell. Accurate, switched on.
Salamutu just trying to get something from Reavell with those feints. He's not really biting on them. He's got the height and the reach that comes with it here, Salamutu. But he kind of creeps in, doesn't he? He's not really extending that jab hand, not yet anyway. He got caught with a couple there himself, actually.
Crowd getting into it, just dabbing in his right eye, Reavell, after that exchange. Comes back with his own jab. These are two guys that relish the challenge. Don't want easy ball-overs. Did he hurt him there, Reavell? Landed a right hand.
It was a good uppercut, wasn't there? And then lands to the body there too. He's locked onto his distance quite quickly here, Reavell, and what you were saying at the start was absolutely bang on. He's just found a good method the last few fights. That's a nice right-hand elbow from Salamutu.
The crowd are right on it as well. Just amp things up a little. Really good start that from Reavell. He looked sharp, razor sharp, and managed to land quite a few telling punches. For Salamutu, at least last time up, he came through some rocky moments against a big, strong super middle in Harvey Collison. So there's the uppercut. That was that wicked little shot inside that Reavell timed well.
He just dabbed at his eye slightly there. You mentioned it during the course of the first round, but there's no damage to it, thankfully. It was a nasty cut that he got. Levitsky got one as well, actually, in that fight that caused an early halt to it. I wonder if that's something they can maybe try and do again, because he was looking good that fight, wasn't it? Him against Levitsky.
Yeah, listen, it was another hard match, wasn't it? Levitsky had just come off a sort of 10-round fight of the year contender for an area title last year, so you certainly fancy that the winner of this one might well be reaching for an area title fight next.
Good jab there from Reavell. Up from the waist, travelled a good distance.
And you can see Sellamuthu, he's just trying to quicken things up, isn't he? Trying to match Reavell for speed.
But again, gets caught by that jab on the way in.
Yeah, there's a battle of the jabs, isn't there, going on at the moment in this second round. He's another pro, Salamutu, isn't he, to come out of that Camberley Boxing Club. Nick Webb, former stablemate, also gone pro. Always good for the other amateurs, isn't it, to see what's possible, Andy? Lead and they will follow.
Exactly, yeah, it's always really, really important. Somebody from your club, somebody you've seen train, somebody you know, steps into that world and makes a success of things. It makes it seem a lot more within reach. And Reavell's winning this round with his lead hand, isn't he? They're kind of oscillating around each other in circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, but it's mainly that lead left hand. And he's used it with a little bit of variety, and Sellamuthu, at the minute, is finding it quite difficult to get past it. Does there, though.
Yeah, and that's the value in throwing more than one shot at a time. He missed with the first. Back comes Reavell. Lands his own right and then a left. Just starting to heat up. Crowder getting into it too. And again, Reavell with both right and left hands.
Turned his man really well there, Reavell, and then span around his own front foot and just caught him with a good combination. Salamutu looked to try and really press it. Good jab there from him. Doubled up on it. The first one didn't get there. The second one did.
They both had success in this round. The jab has often been the foundation of it. And Salamutu is slightly trapped on this ropes. I think a body shot got through there from Reavell.
It's a good fight, as we suspected it would be.
Oh, lovely left hook. Got through again from Reavell. And although he's had his moments in this one, Salamutu, a couple of those follow-up shots for him, the telling plays have come from Reavell.
Agreed, agreed.
What you like to see, though, isn't it? Competitive fights, hard-matched fights. No easy give for either of them. And although I think you'd have had Reavell as a favourite coming into this, great credit to both men for taking at it and for engaging in the way that they have so far.
There's that kind of reverse one too. He led off with the right hand. It was maybe just a little bit of a decoy, and then pulled that left hand through off the back of it and got through with it.
Corners, 10 seconds.
But I still feel that Reavell had the better of that second round. But Salamutu, I think, has got to try and keep the tempo high here. He will leave himself a little bit open at times. But the first couple of minutes of that second round, when Reavell was using his lead left and it was a battle of the jabs, he won that battle of the jabs quite convincingly. So I don't think that's really the road to go down if you're Salamutu, but he's got to try and move his head, get past that jab, and that's where he can get to work.
Nice 1-2 again there from Reavell, whose footwork's probably underrated. Again, spirited exchanges from them both.
Just beckoning Salamutu in here, Reavell. Salamutu just trying to see if he can step across, change the angle, find a gap.
Yeah, I think he's more naturally maybe a counter-puncher, Reavell, but he doesn't have to be.
Dips off to his left and finds that left hand to the body there, Reavell.
Just finding the openings, isn't he?
Good variety.
Creating them with the movement.
And again there, as Salamutu tried to close in on him just a little bit quicker. Fired that left hook.
He's certainly posing a lot of problems. There's that uppercut again from Reavell. And really sharp and fast inside to make sure he didn't take any shots. There's a couple of wicked right hands at the end too, starting to get through Reavell. So he's posing problems, and Salamutu's going to have to find the answers. He's raised his game to a new level last couple of fights with Reavell. And whether that's focus, training, intensity, mindset, or whether it's actually just becoming comfortable in your own skin as a boxer in terms of what it is, the kind of fighter that you want to be.
Seconds.
Either way, it's working for him.
It definitely is. I think that fight against P.A. Gordon would have done him a lot of good, because we had that closer than the judges had it. No issue at all with P.A. Gordon getting the win, but in the middle rounds, he had a good spell, Reavell. He came right back into it. And he gave a good display that night, gave a good account of himself against somebody who was expected to rise above that level. So it just gives you a yardstick of where you are, what you are, and what you might be. And I think he's probably decided off the back of that rather than possibly look at things fight by fight, I just want hard fights, I just want 50-50s, decent purse, which is not a hand-to-mouth strategy exactly, but I think he maybe looked at things a bit longer term and thought, no, I'll set myself a target of where I want to get to. I know the kinds of fights I need to get myself there, but I can achieve something here.
Nice little exchange there. The openings are becoming a bit more difficult to find for Sellamuthu.
Nice right hand to the body there, though, from him. He's just got to try and keep the faith here, Sellamuthu. He's got to try and keep the pace as high as he can. He's always looking to get on Reavell. He's always looking to bring pressure to him. He's going to have to walk through a few here, I think, to have some success, but that's the way this will have to be for him. I don't think there's any other way. And see if Reavell maybe ties in the second half, because when they're looking to have a look and pick punches, one of them is picking better punches than the other.
The old blemish under the right eye and the cheekbone of Sellamuthu. That's probably testament to the jab of Reavell, who goes to work with a couple of wicked shots inside, covering up Sellamuthu. There's that uppercut again from Reavell, who shows composure in the pocket. Just missed with that left hook attempt, Sellamuthu.
And it's not that Sellamuthu isn't having any success, it's just that whenever he lands one, Reavell lands 2 or 3. It's that kind of a fight for him.
And it's probably the right idea. He's in those exchanges in the pocket. He's trying to punch with Reavell. Reavell's so kind of comfortable in there defensively that it's difficult to pin down. And Sellamuthu giving it absolutely everything. At the end of another round. Good pace, isn't it? I wonder what happens when if the pace drops, Andy.
I was just thinking exactly that, because we're into the second half now, and as we say, it's always demanding in here. You talk to boxers about fighting here and they just say it's different, just everything about it. It's always hot because they can't control the heating and it's summer, but it's not just that, it's the kind of proximity of the crowd, the intensity of it, the fact that the dressing rooms are quite tight, some of them are literally below ground. It's just, this place gets into you and takes your energy away more than anywhere else that they'll fight, and you see it, don't you?
Corners, 10 seconds!
Never have I seen fighters need to dig in more than I have here, and I'm sure it's the same for you. And
seconds out.
Salamutu's got to keep the faith. He's just got to keep working, believing that he's going to get through and make a real dent.
Well, Salamutu showed strength and courage, physicality to get through difficult moments against a big, strong Harley Collison. It was a close, competitive fight. Collison just came out on top in their rematch, so he has endured difficult moments and pain and discomfort before. Well, he had his success there, Sellamuthu, didn't he? And then he was picked off, and now he's having some worrying moments. Big left and right, and it's Reavell who's going through the gears.
That's a perfect example of what we were talking about, because he did have some success, and then Reavell came straight back and gave him a bit of a pummeling for a good 10 seconds or so there, and that's, honestly, that's a bit dispiriting if you're Sellamuthu, because you just feel like you're getting somewhere, and then you get paid back in kind. It's a difficult situation to be in that.
And I did wonder, when I said, punching with Reavell in the pocket, maybe that is the right thing, but because Reavell is so sound defensively, it's almost like a sixth sense that Reavell has got in the pocket. A lot of body movement, ducks his head down, and he always seems to be away from punches, and he is a little faster than Sellamuthu. I do wonder if punching with him in those exchanges could lead to what we just saw there, and that's sharp, fast counters from Reavell that bore fruit. And again, and he's doubling up, isn't he? Left and right, switching the attacks. Reavell having a lot of success. And you wonder whether these shots now getting through from Reavell repeatedly and often are going to have a tell on Sellamuthu, who's digging in again.
Reavell just smiling at the corner a few seconds ago as he was looking over the shoulder of his opponent straight at Will Jones, who was telling him to breathe whilst he had the opportunity. And it's been a good pace, this fight, as we've said, but one fighter has been in control and for the most part dictating turns, and that's been Reavell. And when you're the one who sets the tempo, then you can do it for a good few rounds.
But look at Sellamuthu, still throwing. He's landed a few body shots of his own last couple of exchanges, still coming forward. So much grit and desire from him. And no less than we expected.
Had a brief spell southpaw there, didn't he? Just seeing if that might bring him some more kind of rewards, but 5 rounds down. And so far, it's one of those fights where on the card, Sellamuthu is going to get very short shrift, but he's winning portions of these rounds, but just overall, Reavell's been a step ahead of him all the way, hasn't he?
Just a little too sharp, too fast, a bit too cute, landing some telling punches, but Sellamuthu always competitive, always trying, and having moments of his own, as you see, repeatedly in every round.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 6.
Into round 6 then, scheduled for 8. Hard game this. Salamutu pressing forward, coming out for more. It's hard to say you be too strong on the advice for either man, really, about what they could do, what they shouldn't do, Andy.
No, it's been that kind of fight, hasn't it? I think if you're in the Reavell corner, you just tell them, you just keep doing exactly what you've been doing. And if you're in the Salamutu corner, I think you kind of do the same, really, because there's still 3 rounds to go here, and he needs to turn things around in quite a big way. He needs, I would say, he's at the point now where he does need knockdowns, because I think you've got to give all 5 rounds so far to Reavell. But you have to believe it's a massive part of any sport, particularly boxing, and Salamutu just has to believe that he keeps bringing this heat, that he will get there. Left hand into the body, the head's just cracked together a little bit there as well.
Nice right hand there from Sellamuthu. It's the speed of the combinations inside and in range from Reavell.
Nice up jab there from Reavell, left hand into the body there from Salamutu, just past the midway stage, and he's probably having his best round so far, Salamutu, I would say. He needs to keep going.
Best moments, building a little platform, Salamutu. And he wants to get back in there, a little break in proceedings with a warning from the referee. Did he hurt him with that body shot? First time we've seen Reavell holding on.
Nice
and again.
One too. And the
for the first time, Reavell not throwing back, caught again. And Salamutu building up a little bit of pressure here. Maybe he did get through with that body shot, that left hand.
He's having a big round here. And again, the 1-2 just crashes through the guard, and this will really put some wind in his sails.
And again, Reavell happy to engage the clinch.
It's possible that he's been looking to have a bit of a round off here, Reavell, but if that's been the plan, then it hasn't worked because he's been hit too much.
A couple of right hands from Reavell there. Spats of defiance in a round that otherwise Salamutu's won. Best rounder of the fight for him so far. What a game this is. Who'd have seen that coming?
Well, as we were saying, he just needed to keep going, didn't he? Believing that this would come, and it has come. Has it maybe come a little bit too late? I feel like he's going to need to score some knockdowns. That left hand into the body there, that could have been the one, because you see him just grimace as he backed off. And from that point onwards, Sellamuthu gave him plenty, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was that left hand to the body that was the one, and it did look that way. And Reavell, so often in the clinch, has had that kind of sixth sense, hands down, bobbing and weaving. There, gloves up by his ears, trying to deflect some of the punches, but not really moving. That was a
10 seconds.
Telltale sign that he'd been hurt.
Salamutu has got to get right back on him as soon as the bell goes here. Right back on him.
Well, Andy, you said it. He needed something else. He needed something different, and he produced it in that round. So he's given himself a chance, Salamutu, a seemingly unlikely chance. How does Reavell react? Nearly clipped again with the right hand. Reavell's going to meet fire with fire in this penultimate round. And these are the rounds, these are the moments, these are the times where all that road work, all those hard yards, those early mornings, this is where the sacrifice, this is what it leads to.
Minute into this one, not too much in it so far.
And these are the moments, these are the times, these are the rounds. Big left and right there from Salamutu again. But this is why we hold fighters in such high regard when you see stirring action like this.
Really is. Great uppercut there as well from Reavell on the inside.
He's
Salamutu
easier to hit Reavell, isn't he, Andy? Defence is betraying him a little. He's trying to fight back, Reavell, but he's getting clipped a little more often in this round.
The feet have just slowed down, haven't they? Whereas before he was moving around the target nicely. A bit of steam has just gone out of him, and Salamutu's got, on the other hand, some spring in his step.
Salamutu looks across to his corner, gets through with another couple of shots. I said before, he's been through a really physical, arduous fight against a big, strong super middle in Collison. So, in a sense, he's prepared for this, and I think that physicality and strength is starting to show.
It is.
Now.
It really is, isn't it? Because, again, Salamutu is getting on top of him this round, and it's kind of a role reversal in a way. It's not like Reavell isn't having some success, because he is, but at the same time, it's Salamutu who's doing the more damage. And just a few seconds ago, we saw Reavell just kind of grope forward almost and look to get a hold of Salamutu. And something the referee will maybe need to have a little bit of a look at if it happens too many more times.
Nice little uppercut in the exchange from Salamutu as Reavell looks to come back. The crowd got banged into huge left hook there in defence from Salamutu, and that had Reavell clinging on a little. There's a welt and a bruise that's come right up under his right eye, the cheekbone there of Kevin Reavell. There was a wicked left hand in that exchange. He had his back to us, so it was difficult to see how much he was hurt, Andy. But he fell forward and put his arms around Salamutu, who's had two big rounds back-to-back.
He has, and you could just see him sag a little bit, couldn't you, when that left hand landed. And Salamutu, again, is coming on really strong here. He's got to give it absolutely everything in this final round, because I think the way we've both seen this so far, we would have said rounds 1 to 5 all to Reavell, and quite easy to score, I would say. Round 6-7 to Sellamuthu, so he needs more than the round win here. We don't know what the is telling him. They may see it differently to us. Amy Pugh, who's going to be scoring it, may be seeing it differently to us, but they just got to tell him, you've got to go and get this now, because this guy is fading, he's knackered, he wants the bell. Go out and take it, and Reavell's got to hang in there.
Well, what an extraordinary sport this is. It looked like Kevin Reavell probably 5-0 up. Many people's scorecards and waltzing and dancing and repeatedly hurting Morgan Sellamuthu. And then suddenly a left hook to the body in that 6th round has changed the play. Into the final round. Reavell's going to have to dig deep and work hard for this. And having put his foot to the floor in the last couple of rounds, has Salamutu got the energy to see it through?
I'd love to know what Will Jones is saying to Kevin Reavell in between rounds. They may well think he's far enough up here, but you're not going to tell him to go out and be too cautious, because it's just not in his nature, is it?
It's been a good start to the round, though, from Reavell. Picking his shots nicely. Bit of the steam and energy gone out of the attack of Salamutu through this first minute. A wild miss with a left hand from Salamutu, and Reavell pounced on it immediately.
Been a terrific fight, though, hasn't it? We were saying that Salamutu just needed to keep the faith, keep working, believing that that point would come where things could turn around, and he made that happen. It maybe came just a bit too late, we'll see, but we've seen so much good stuff in this 8 rounds.
Hellish pace as well, all the way throughout. It's been a good response, this, from Reavell. Having looked hurt at times in both of the last 2 rounds, a little weary, clinching.
He's just recaptured a little bit of that form and shape, and I was going to say precision, but then there's 3 or 4 punches bounced off in there by Sellamuthu.
Yeah, 1-2, 1-2 from Salamutu, his best moments of this final round. A little rekindling of what we saw in the previous 2. Well, I think this has turned out to be far harder than Kevin Reavell imagined. I think pre-fight and certainly 3/4 of the way through it.
I would agree with that.
Oh, what a shot. Wicked right hand. He just skipped round the target, opened it up, and then landed the right hand. It was a kind of right hook from the side there from Reavell. That was a terrific shot.
And it was the quickest he's moved his feet for a couple of rounds, wasn't it? And I don't think that Sellamuthu was really ready for it.
Crowd are on their feet. Well, they have been regally entertained here. It's been spirited action throughout, topsy-turvy down the stretch. Kevin Reavell with a terrific final round to seal the deal. Well, my goodness me, did he have to ride the wave late on?
Great fight. Great fight. Salamutu, I think, feels like he may have done enough there. The way we've seen this, Reavell won the first 5, Salamutu 6-7 the final round. Bit of a ding-dong, maybe a Reavell round. The referee is the one that counts, Amy. She's just marking her card for that final round. You would say that Reavell's done enough here. I would certainly say he's done enough, but a brilliant, brilliant fight. And the way it ended, I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Yes, by the way, the referee's scorecards tonight, her 2 cards have been terrific.
But, yeah, they have.
Probably bang on the money. 6-2, 5-3 Reavell.
Yeah, I'd say so. But the way it finished with him coming on so strong towards the end, that's the kind of memory you're left with. Although that last round was pretty close. That the memory you're left with is, oh, but he finished strong. Did he finish strong, Sellamuthu? And I think that's why he feels like he could have done enough.
Well, that was excellent. That was really, really good. Hope you enjoyed at home. I think everybody here ringside did. It's rare that Andy and I start clapping after a fight, and it was one of those. Let's get confirmation of it now with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Eagle scores about 76 to 76. This bout is a draw.
Well, 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 4 rounds apiece, so a draw. So Amy Pugh, I would say, has found a round for Sellamuthu in that first 5 where we didn't, and given him the final 3, and we got ourselves a draw.
Well, it was competitive. Reavell's pretty peeved. He's left the ring immediately.
We'll have to see it again, won't we? That's the upshot of it.
Inevitably, yeah. Inevitably. I wonder if that's slightly punctured plans. I know there was certainly talk of moving Reavell towards the Southern Area title in September. I think they'd already earmarked an opponent, so that's on ice, but that is boxing for you. I was leaning definitely towards Reavell. I think Reavell won it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think 5-3. I think he won it 5-3. The final round was close. It could have been 6-2. I'm not going to argue about that one. I didn't see a round for Sellamuthu in the first 5.
But Salamutu gave it a lash.
He absolutely did. He turned it around. He really turned it around, and it was great to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and as I say, we are just going to have to see it again, aren't we?
Well, I think Kevin Reavell's struggling to understand that scorecard, but he's kindly agreed to join us ringside, so we'll get his side of things. He's speaking to Ali.
Kevin's just getting his gloves on for as well. Not a decision that either of you wanted down. When the man felt like you both celebrated, you both felt like you've done enough. Kevin, just talk me through, you thought you did enough to win.
Yeah, I thought I won the first fight. He couldn't get close to me. I tell you the truth, I had a bit of a shit week. Mum got put in hospital Friday night, so my mind wasn't there. So I've got out there on 50%, and yeah, still done a draw, which I thought I won. So I'd love a rematch to put that right, do you know what I mean? Like, it won't go like that the next fight, no way.
I mean, it was a fantastic fight. Well done to both of you. Morgan, when the final bell went, you were celebrating. You thought you'd maybe pulled enough to get the win in the last few rounds.
Yeah, I thought I nicked the last half of the fight, and I thought that just gave me the edge to take the decision, but it is what it is. We've got to run it back.
I mean, everyone was entertained here, that is for sure. But you're both up for the rematch, and we can speak to Johnny.
Yeah, 100%, why not? I respect him, he's a good man, so let's do it again.
Yeah, definitely. We've done a cracking fight. Why don't we run it back?
Perfect. Well done for putting on a great show tonight.